to all my generals, kings, queens, and Zuligans. As always, it's appreciated that you tapping on my channel, watching my videos. I would appreciate it much if you were to kindly leave me a comment, share the video, hit that notification bell, and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have, good looking. And may God continue to bless you and yours. And holla at your boy, man. Planet Zoo Entertainment, man. Hit me on Instagram. Najee Barbie. Hit me on Facebook. Tap in. Like my boy from the hood say, yo, see if you're big O with your friend from that big O end. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Thank you, God. Got a beautiful video intended to help and assist those that's lost to find their way. For those that got their eyes closed, to open them and wake them up. That's what I'm doing. Now look here. Understand. We've been bamboozled. We went for the banana in the tailpipe. All of us. We all should be embarrassed, humiliated, and feel like up and down SHIT of what they did to us and feel about this big because we went for it. The destruction of our own. And they did it 3 ways. 3 ways.
So explain the whole Iran-Contra thing and what your role in it and what Blandon's role was in it.
Well, my role was that Blandon would bring me drugs to sell to raise money for the Contras. The Contras was backed by the CIA, which was Ronald Reagan and George Bush's pet peeve, George Bush Sr.'s pet peeve. They felt that if they lost Nicaragua, that Russia would be marching down the streets of the United States.
Okay, but where's the Iran part?
Well, they sold guns to Iran and took the money and gave it to the Contras.
But then they were also selling drugs, well, they were allowing drugs to pass through into America and using that money and putting it to the Contras as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But the initial money come from Iran because the Congress had said that they couldn't give the Contras any money. So they had to get it from a source that nobody would know about. I mean, it's so much there. You know, you really got to do your homework. And then, you know, they also had the hostages in Iran that Ronald Reagan was able to get loose because he was going to give them weapons for the hostages along with getting some money.
How much of this did you actually know about?
None. I learned all this while I was in jail.
Numbers of poor people, and specifically blacks, going to jail and to prison, and they will not have a chance.
In the early 1980s, the nation's slogan was clear.
Just say no.
Crack now has spread to almost every American city.
But what if I told you that there was more to the crack era than what the white mainstream news media let on? And that it went beyond black and Latinx folks who simply needed to kick a drug habit. The United States government and agents of the state were corrupt and had a hand in creating this dark time in America's history. Misinformation about crack cocaine and its users flooded airwaves and proved to be just as dangerous as the substance itself. Decades after the crack era has come and gone, its impact lives on. Fast forward to 1971, when Richard Nixon declared war.
America's public enemy #1 is drug abuse.
2 presidents later, Ronald Reagan not only carried on, but weaponized this anti-drug stance.
Drugs are menacing our society.
Though Reagan was the first president who promised to
make America great again.
but rather he made things worse for low-income communities. In fact, at the time, the poverty rate grew faster in the first 3 years of Reagan's presidency than in any other time since the 1950s. Meanwhile, in another part of the world, the United States was funding an illegal war in Nicaragua, and drug smugglers were sending cocaine to the U.S. on U.S. planes. Somehow, the United States officials had no clue.
Whether the United States actually loaded up the planes with cocaine, or whether they just kind of turned their backs, right, and let the planes take off and go to the United States and land, the United States knew that at the very least that cocaine was being flown in and just ignored it.
Check it. Money broke up families, tore families apart, drove people crazy, okay? In jail. That's how they tore up our community. See, after COINTELPRO, most of them dudes fell off into gangs and neighborhoods and started representing their community and starting different cliques and what have you to protect them from any outside threats. We can't have that now, can we? So what they do? We gotta fund a war in Nicaragua. So we're gonna sell some guns to Iran, get the cash, get the dope from the median, what they call themselves, the Medellin cartel. I probably still didn't say it right, even though I watched the shit all day. Just was watching a video, Narcos. Anyway, to get the drugs. Then of course they gotta sell the drugs, so what they do, they turn to us. They turn to us to sell it, make their money to fund their war. Same time, they pushing a line on war against drugs, so they making harsher crime punishment against us and ours for selling the same product that they're pushing. Oh my God. Meanwhile, us in the ghetto and in our neighborhoods are seeing this flux of cash, money, the lure, the devil at his finest hour. We want some of that. We ain't never had nothing, man. We're getting Christmas presents out of the cereal boxes. Now, what happens? We kill our brother, sister, mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, kid, uncle, cousin, don't matter. When it comes to that paper, so now we're against our neighbors. One angle. Money, kill each other, break up families, then make laws to bury us under the jail. And we went for it. Now understand, they smart. Scarface said it, baby. They smart. So listen, understand, we went for it, but that don't mean we gotta keep going for it. It's a different time. It's a different era. We must connect and unify in becoming more loving, more understanding, and get back to the basics.
Past Republicans, everybody was talking about the scourge of crack and the evil dealers who are dealing crack. It was crazily overblown.
And from the era emerged some dangerous myths about Black people.
First of all, there was the crackhead, just had given up their lives to crack and, would do anything for crack. Then there was a crack mama. And that was, basically Black women. This woman sold her baby for crack.
And an equally damaging falsehood, the crack baby.
Despite all the warnings, a growing number of babies are being born already addicted to cocaine.
They'll spend the rest of their lives suffering for the lifestyle of their mothers.
What would you do about pregnant women who use drugs and pass those drugs onto their babies?
The media played a huge part in making the public feel that crack was really the real threat and that treatment wasn't the answer, but jail.
And the federal government's response to the war on drugs was clear. Lock them up and throw away the key.
They could come up with a new drug tomorrow, and we're going to go out there and do the same thing we're doing today. We ain't going to stop.
While chemically, powder cocaine, which was often used by white people, and crack cocaine, which was more accessible and believed to be used by Black people, are practically the same, if you're caught using or selling either drug, the law says otherwise. During the crack era, the sentencing disparity was crazy. The rule was 100-1. So 5 grams of crack would land you with a 5-year mandatory minimum, but it would take 500 grams of cocaine to get the same sentence. Now, here's the kicker. Black people made up 82% of the folks convicted for federal crack and cocaine offenses, but only 30% of crack users. 62% of people convicted for crack offenses were low-level sellers or lookouts. Today, the number of Americans incarcerated for drug offenses went from 40,900 in 1980 to 443,200 in 2018. With over 2 million people locked up, which is a 500% increase over the last 40 years.
One angle. Money. Kill each other, break up families, then make laws to bury us under the jail. And we went for it. Now understand, they smart. Scarface said it, baby. They smart. So listen, understand. We went for it, but that don't mean we gotta keep going for it. It's a different time. It's a different era. We must connect and unify in becoming more loving, more understanding, and get back to the basics. Because now, we know the game. There's too much information out there. Don't ignore it. Riders, my like-minded individuals, we have put in too much to this cause of ours, which is, first and foremost, our communities in which we represent. That we chose, because life is about choices, to give it our all, put our lives on the line, in regards to representing it and keeping it high on a pedestal above our families, our mothers and fathers. So I'm saying to y'all, we don't stop. We can't stop. See, we've been working for the devil in our past, but we have grown to know and love God and our community. We can't leave them for the dead. We, because we are woke and we are who we are, must attempt to the best of our abilities to correct what is broken and help our babies to have a brighter and better future than we had. And with God, all things is possible. So again, to my generals, kings and queens, my queens, listen. I know I deal with generals all the time. They don't want to hear me, but they listen to you. Make sure you talk some sense into them. Tell them the real. Wake them up. It's that time. I love y'all. With that being said, I'ma holla. Peace.